What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA football bowl extravaganza. Thank you guys so much for your support and for watching. Let's keep cashing. It's been a glorious month. Let's get that paper. Okay, sorry. Armed Forces Bowl, number 24th ranked Golden Hurricanes out of Tulsa, 6-2 on the year versus Mississippi State Bulldogs, 3-7. Amon G. Carter Stadium, Fort Worth, Texas. And we have some weather issues on New Year's Eve. Now, it is a few days before New Year's Eve, so it can change. We have a couple games with rain and wind, and this is one of them. 38 Fahrenheit rain, 15 miles an hour. We have a team in Tulsa that plays spectacular defense, which would lead you to want the under. And the total's already moved from 49 to 47, and there are some 46.5s on the board. But Tulsa will not have their main defensive weapon, Zaven Collins, who's opted out of the game to declare for the draft. 54 tackles, 4 sacks, 4 interceptions. 2 of them he returned for touchdowns. He was absolutely spectacular. 6'4", 260 pounds. We'll see him on Sundays, and he will not be in the game. Tulsa had their 6-game winning streak snapped in their 27-24 AAC championship loss to Cincinnati. Their defense, strong all year, allowed 340.8 yards and 20.8 points. Their offense struggled at times, but seemed to come up big when it mattered most. They gained 401 yards and 27.3 points per game. In that big game against Cincinnati, John Ryan was on Tulsa money line, and he almost had an enormous score there. I like this team, but Zach Smith did not take the step up that we were expecting this year. He completed just 55.8% of his passes, 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They had 3 running backs with over 80 carries, but they'll be without one of them, TK Wilkerson, for undisclosed reasons. And he was probably the weakest statistically of the bunch. Wide receiver Keelan Stokes and Josh Johnson each caught 37 passes for 495-plus yards, about 500 yards each. Mississippi State stopped their 3-game losing streak with a 51-32 win at home to Missouri to finish off their season. We were on them in that game. Their defense kept them in games while their offense struggled. Their offense managed 347.1 yards per game and 20.7 points per game. And it was their running game that was terrible by standard. I mean, just they averaged 36 yards rushing per game. I had to go over it just to make sure there wasn't some sort of mistake.
Great.
Unbelievable. Freshman Will Rogers took over KJ Costello, showed real promise, finished the season by completing 69.6% of his passes, 828 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He made that rookie move of taking risks that he didn't need to take. That's the high interceptions. But look at that high completion rate. Their defense led by senior linebacker Errol Thompson, who had 87 tackles, 2 sacks, and 1 interception. Armed Forces Bowl, Big Ragoo, take it away.
Hey, when you run for 37 yards a game, when you're rushing play percentages is like barely 20%, and you throw the ball 80% of the time, so pretty much the other team knows what the hell you're going to do, right? So that kind of – and when you only run 2 yards a carry – pass plays only like barely 6 yards, not even 5.5 yards. So they definitely have some offensive issues, and that's real surprising because we know that Leach loves to throw the ball around, and it's just a matter of getting the system in place. That's not going to be long for these guys before they kind of get stuff going, but it's going to be not this year for sure. So we've already got them figured out what they're going to do, how they're going to try to attack this game. Then you throw in the weather factor, with the rain and the wind. So it's not going to be a good look. But funny thing about it, there's a lot of action coming in on Mississippi State. So what do you think the reason is for that? Let me get some help from you on that. What do you think's going on with that number?
No Zaven Collins. Nobody wants to back Tulsa.
Nobody wants to back Tulsa, huh? So it's really a good game to try to sit here and figure out.
Was there a more valuable defensive player on any team this season than Zaven Collins on Tulsa?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So, is that going to give them an opportunity to run the ball against Tulsa, even though he's not there? Just for that matter, we're talking like Tulsa, talking about 8-point margin of difference versus 7 the other way. I don't know. And then the total is it's opened up at 50, and it's down to 47 now?
Yeah, 47. It looks like it might go down to 46.5.
Yeah. And
we're sitting here with Tulsa as 2.5-point favorites.
First, I was looking at a possible team total over for Mississippi State. It was 10.5. I was going to say for the first. That was the first half total I was looking at initially. But let me see what's going on with that. What do you got for first half team totals on these squads?
I will see if they are up and add them. Let me see. Here we go. Tulsa. Sorry, here we go. First half. No, I don't. I can't get a team total there.
No.
Let me see if I can get one over here at Bet365 for this Tulsa.
Tulsa's got some nice. I mean, John could probably vouch for this. Tulsa's like 6-1 ATS the last 7 bowl games. Under the last 5 games of the Hurricanes being a favorite. And then the under's cash is 7-9 for the Bulldogs. So you can see why everybody's on the under. I mean, definitely if I don't know, just the weather's got me. I would have loved to take a shot with Mississippi State here if I knew the weather was going to be a little more cooperative. Maybe a first half total with Mississippi State over the total, but I don't really have a strong play here either way.
It's a tricky spot. We could come back to you if you'd like.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, I'll give you something.
Okay.
We're gonna look at I'm gonna take the dog in that spot. Even though as bad as they are, I gotta be contrarian something. And let's do this. Let's take Mississippi State. What's the money line on this game for Mississippi State?
I will get that for you right now. We're going to get a money line look here. We're shopping at odds.com, their odds page. The money line for Mississippi State, I can get you not very good, a plus 116 at FanDuel. Let me see if I can beat that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see value in the number either way. I mean, if I can't see the big value on Mississippi State with that short number. I would figure that 3-7 versus Tulsa's winning squad, that they would be a lot better. So to me, that tells me the number that plays Mississippi State. So I'm just going to take Mississippi State plus the points.
Mississippi State. So you can get a plus 117 money line. So instead, we're going to go with the 2.5 points. Let's see what I can get you there. Mississippi State plus 2.5. I can get you minus 103 at DraftKings.
We'll do that.
All right, locked in. Mississippi State plus 2.5 minus 103 at DraftKings. And let's move over to DJ Big Boss. Mississippi State, Tulsa, Armed Forces Bowl. Take it away.
Is that what you're doing nowadays, Big Ragu? Jumping on that side?
Flipping the coin in this one.
Okay, let's go for it, man. And this one right here, I got an even matchup for the most part. Interesting factor about this game is Tulsa has 62 Texas players. I don't know how true that is, but I seen that stat jump out. 62 of them are from Texas, and they're going over here to Fort Worth, Texas in the Armed Forces Bowl. And this one, I like Tulsa a lot. Even without that stat or whatever. Mississippi State with the freshman quarterback, I'm going to stand on the side of Tulsa in this one, minus the points. And I also, what I find big value in, since Big Red, they want to throw the V word around like that, I find big value is when they go low, we go high. So I like the over in this one a lot. You got Mike Leach over there. He knows how to get the ball in the end zone. And this Tulsa team, they know how to get the ball in the end zone. Despite both of them having really good defenses, they're a little mismatch. And the best part about Tulsa is the offense is even pass and even run. So if Mississippi State decides to stop the run, they can open up with the pass and vice versa. Whereas Mississippi State, they can't really do the same thing right there. So I'm going to go all Tulsa right here.
All right. You want Tulsa and the over. I can get
Say it again.
I said it makes sense, but the number looks – why would that number be so short if there was that much disparity in the way the teams are going to play each other? And that 2.5, it looks awful cheap. Something's wrong.
Over 46.5 at minus 112 will be your total. That's available at FanDuel. And let's hear John Ryan's take. John, take it away.
Well, this is an interesting matchup because it's one of the few times you have a team that their average rushing yards is less than the opponent's rushes. So it's a very unusual situation, and it does lean towards the under in a couple of the systems I have. But, I mean, think about it. The team's averaging less rushing yards per game as opposed to the opponent's just rushing attempts. That can never be a real good thing. I'll get to the point. I'm on the over with the big Ragu. DJ, I mean, right?
Yeah, DJ.
And a simple betting system here, and you guys want to write this one down because it's easy to follow. You pick a bowl game played in the month of December with a total between 42 and 49.5 points. And that has gone 36-11-1 to the over for 77% winners over the last 5 seasons. And believe me, these simple betting systems like this one, you'd be amazed at how many times you're going contrarian. It's got to be on this one, at least 70% of the plays are going against what the line movement was.
Very interesting. Over 46.5 at minus 112.
One last thing. Leach has played a total of 10 games in his coaching career with a total below 50, and 8 of those 10 went over. But think of it, 10 games in his career. The guy's coached a gazillion games, and he's only played 10 with a total below 50. That's remarkable.
Well, I am going to do a couple things here, and I know this goes against some of you guys, a lot of you guys on Tulsa, but I'm with Ragu here. Zaven just meant so much to this team, and I'm not only going to take Mississippi State plus 2.5 at minus 103, but I'm also going to take the Mississippi State team total over 22.5. I think that's low enough, and it kind of is correlated with your guys' over anyways. It's available at Bet365. Mississippi State over 22.5. I have to pay the cost to be the boss at minus 120. I will do that. So in review, Ragu on Mississippi State plus 2.5 minus 103. Boss is on Tulsa minus 2.5 and the over 46.5. John Ryan's on the over 46.5. I'm on Mississippi State plus 2.5 and the over 22.5.
You know, my initial cap was the first half total over for Mississippi State, which my book had 10.5.
Yeah, I wish we had that available at any of these licensed books. We don't.
I can't total, Jimmy, for the full game.
Sorry, say that again.
What's the team total for the full game?
That's what I took, 22.5.
22.5. Okay, I'll let you ride it. I'll cheer you on.
You can jump on it if you want.
All right, you know what? I'm piggyback you. Give me that too.
All right, so Boss and I are on the same stuff here. The team total for Mississippi State over 22.5 minus 120. That's at Bet 360.
My book has got 23.5 minus 120, so that's good. I'll take it.
Sweet.